Hello, microphone check 1212. Welcome to Atomic Movie Reviews Film Society. I am your host, Atomicon Rex. Here we discuss films that have a narrative background in aliens, ghosts, robots, and creatures. And today's movie was The Consultant. It's not a movie, it's an actual show. It came out in 2023 on Amazon Prime. And the main star is Christoph Waltz, America's favorite Nazi from Inglourious Bastards. So let's just jump into it. So the theme I placed this movie in is going to be the batteries not included. That's when the supernatural interacts with technology, and I'll explain a little bit later. So what are some of the plot narratives of the movie? Of the TV show, I should say. I thought it was going to be basic office politics. You know, this new guy shows up and he's an asshole, and he turns out to be, I don't know, like the best friend of the owner of the company, something like that. That's where I thought it was going. I thought it was just going to be your basic office drama politic movie. So the genre, I'm going to have to put it in cybernatural. It's not really horror, but it's definitely there's definitely cybernatural elements in the TV show. Point number 3, cinematography. Okay, what do we have? It's a live action TV series. It's pretty straight to the point. There's not a lot of graphics or anything like that. It's not real supernatural. It's still kind of based in reality. Kind of flows back and forth between is it a spiritual religious thing going on, or is he just a crazy eccentric asshole? So that's kind of what it teeters on. Point number 4, was it an original work? It is not an original work. I think I believe it's based on a novel of the same name, The Consultant. Set design, like I said, it was pretty. There wasn't too many practical effects. It's basically based in an office. There are a couple of other sets, like a house and a couple other places, but mostly the entire show is set in one setting, in the office setting, which happens to be a pretty big, Google-less type of office. It's a nice set, but it doesn't really deviate too much from there. Point number 6, TV tropes and plot conventions that I noticed in the film. Well, he's basically the evil CEO that will use Machiavelli tactics to get the job done. There's not too much development on that. That's the only really plot trope I could really think of, as apart from the supernatural, cybernatural element from it. Okay, let's get into the characters. All right, so the hero, I gave it to Elaine. She's basically the main star of the show. She's the one that cares the most about the employees when the consultant shows up and starts laying people off for no reasons at all. It just seems absurd why he's firing these people. Like, some people I understand they're not putting out any work, but some people, he'll fire because he doesn't like the smell of them or something like that. Like something benign and petty. She was the closest to the owner of the company, so I don't think she was like second in charge, but she knew most about the company, and she was the owner's favorite. She really got placed in the hero category when she saved one of the co-workers' wife from the consultant's spell. And then she ends up at the end of the movie, spoilers are in effect, she ends up taking over the company. So the villain, Regis Patov, he's the consultant who shows up to take over the company after the death of the owner. The owner is shot by some kid in the office, so he shows up and he takes over. He's the evil, corrupt CEO. He basically tries to corrupt his staff. There's some sort of demonic supernatural dimension that's kind of slightly touched upon him. But they don't really dive too much into it. They just kind of disgrace upon it. Okay. Apart from that, he's a pretty good villain. He's a pretty good villain. But the character, he kind of plays the same character in all his movies. An uptight, highly sophisticated asshole. So that's basically the character of the villain in this TV show. The damsel in distress. The damsel in distress happens to be the fiance of the love interest in the show. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it there because I don't want to spoil too much. So the damsel in distress happens to be the fiance of the love interest in the show. The sidekick, I'm gonna give that to the ex-boyfriend. Like the other guy, the other main star of the show was kind of more the sidekick, but I don't know if he was the sidekick as much as he was a victim of Regis. But the other guy who didn't work for the company, Elaine's ex-boyfriend, helped her out a lot. And that's why he got the title of the sidekick, especially when it came to the releasing the elephant plot point during the show. That was pretty interesting. Okay, let's move on to the weapons. It's an office politic, but towards the end of the movie, one of the employees, Nat Wolff, he plays him. He attacks the main villain with an axe. Basically, he's attacking him with the axe, but he ends up like breaking the glass floor, which is reminiscent of the video game that they were working on, where you have to break the glass floor to either like win the game or win some points or something like that. I didn't catch that. Another podcaster had brought that up, and I didn't notice that, so I don't want to take credit for that, but I thought that was pretty interesting, how they incorporated the game that they were working on into the TV show. Mode of transportation. Regis shows up in his black, souped up Hummer, okay, during the show. And that was kind of one of the clues that clued me on to something not being right about this guy, because the Hummer didn't suit his personality. It just did not suit his personality at all. And let alone, that was his car though. That was how he got around. So that clues you into something not quite being right about the dark side being an influence in this movie. Okay, so we'll wrap that up. So the acting, did the acting seem believable? Yeah, everyone played their part. No one kind of took me out of it. Just I think, what's his name? I don't want to mess it up. Nat Wolff. I think he could have been recast into somebody else. I don't think he was that much memorable. Like Elaine, the girl who played Elaine, that was definitely her role. And the villain, Regis, played by Christoph, he definitely nailed that role. But the other role, I think, could have been recast. I don't know. That's just my opinion. What was the cultural impact of the movie? Did it break any new ground? I don't think it broke any new ground, but I do see a trend in film adaptations being turned into 8-part miniseries. Kind of started with the It and Stephen King's back in the 1980s, which actually makes sense because you can develop the story longer through an 8-part, hour-long miniseries, as opposed to jamming everything in a 2-hour movie. So you're able to flesh everything out more. And I think that's where the cinema culture is going towards. So you'll have, if you go to a movie theater, it's going to be a big budget, bombastic MCU level. It needs to be like a roller coaster ride. It needs to be 3D, basically, if you go into a movie theater. But if you want to watch some solid entertainment, streaming is the way to go. Streaming is definitely the way to go. Okay, what's the next point? 10 rating system. I need to update my rating system. Okay, because streaming is part of the rating system, and this is a streaming show, so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna update the rating system. But that being said, I do believe it's a good watch. Don't binge this one, because I find out when I start binging something, like I'll start dozing off around episode 5 and 6, and then I'll miss some crucial information. You'll end up having to go back anyway. So just watch, 3 or 4 episodes, then pick it up again, and then pick it up again. I think that's the best way to watch it. Don't binge it, but it's definitely a good watch. Some popcorn and a beer. It's good entertainment. It's good entertainment. Okay, so summary and recommendations. All right, we're talking about The Consultant. The theme is batteries not included, and that's when the supernatural interacts with technology. It's a thriller / dark comedy. It's not really taking itself too seriously. I think I rented it on Amazon Prime. It's an 8-part series, and Atomic Con Rex does recommend you watch this bad boy. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.